Hello, this is George from Ofora. So today I'm going to show you how to change out your UV bulb and how to pump up the tank on the RO system here. It's a BioRenew. Yours is going to look different than this one. It's kind of an experimental one right now. You might be wondering why I'm asking you to go underneath the counter first. Is because we have to turn off the angle stop. See that angle stop is that blue valve all the way back there connected to the feed line of the underneath the sink. So what you want to do, it right now it's on an on position because you see that white fading coming out of there. It's in line right now. So we got to turn that blue valve so it's off. So I'm going to do that now. All right, that's the off position. So you see it's against the white fitting popping out of there, so now it's crossed. So that's the off position. We want it in that position. We don't want it looking like this where it's in line. We want it crossed. So I'll show you that again one more time. So there you go, that's crossed. You see it's crossed. There's no, so that water's not going to be produced anymore. So after this is completed, we'll go over to the system and I'll show you what to do next. So, hello, this is George again. One thing we're gonna need to do now is turn on the faucet to depressurize the unit. So the feed is already off. We just want to run the unit for a bit, just enough to remove the pressure from the system because right now it's pressurized. So probably like 2 cups of water. It's a good idea, or a glass, just to empty out a glass. So once a glass is emptied out, we can just turn this off. And it's no longer pressurized. So to go over what we just did, we turned off the feed underneath the sink. And we ran the faucet till we got about a glass out, maybe 2 cups. So we'll go to the system now to show you the actual process of changing out the UV and repressurizing the tank. So thank you. Let's head over there now. Hello, this is George again, back at the at a system here. So I'm here at a bunch of systems we test here at Ofora. So I got here what you probably have underneath your sink. So here's the under the counter we sell, the BioRenew. This is our current UV system. I'm gonna teach you how to replace that guy. So if we look, let me get this off the tripod for a second. So if you look here, there may be some red clips here. What you want to do is remove these clips before we actually get to removing this guy. So the first thing we want to do is I want to get the handle of the clip, and I'm going to put my nail in it. See, there's a little handle where the clip is, and I'm just going to pull it, and that pulls the red clip out of there. This is like a lock for the tubing, so it won't come out. You don't necessarily need it, but it's just like a lock on your door. So after we got that one off, we'll go to the next one right across from it, or right next to it, I mean. So right here is the other one. I'm just gonna put my finger inside the little handle it comes with. You can use a if you need to use something else like a screwdriver or something, a flathead, get it in there and pry it out. Go ahead and do that. Just gonna get it off myself right now. Just give me a second. I'm gonna put my, can't do this two-handed. I have to do it two-handed. So like I said, these aren't the easiest to take off, so we're going to remove them. So I'm having trouble. I'm gonna use this hook to try to remove it. Alrighty, so that hook, you can use a flathead screwdriver. I just used a pointy hook to stick it inside this handle here, and I yanked it out. So once we do that, Like I said, we removed the pressure off of the tank. So when we opened up the faucet, so we should be able to remove it now. If you look here, let me put it back on the thingy. If you look here, there's a little gray piece right here. You want to push down on that while you yank on the tube. Let's see if I get a good angle on it, so I can show you guys. I'll show you how it's done. All right, so you want to push down with your finger on the collar piece while you yank on the green tubing. You'll see some water come out, like so. Make sure you have a towel on hand to catch any water. Make sure you don't get it on the leak detector. So that's the first one. Same idea on this guy. On this side, you'll have a blue tube, and then I'm just gonna push down on the collar piece. That dark gray piece is the collar piece I'm talking about. I'm gonna push down on that and yank it. So now that I did that, my piece is now free. I can actually just remove it. So you see, got my ultraviolet here. I got it connected to a UV. I'm gonna disconnect it from the ballast. And then I'll have my new UV, my replacement. So there might be plugs on the ends of these. Just remove them. I usually put plugs in them to, because I usually test these before they send them out. I usually put plugs on them. So one thing we gotta look at is the flow. So you'll see right here, there's a arrow that says flow. That's the direction of the water has to go. So on your new one, make sure that the flow here is towards, this is where the quartz is connected, and this is where the mixer is connected. So here's the quartz, and here's the mixer. So if I know that this is the flow and I have to connect it to my quartz here, I know it has to go in this way. So the flow is going this way. So you see, here's my quartz connector. I'm gonna connect it to the quartz here. And then on the other end is the connection to the static mixer here. So just make sure you push the tubes all the way in. If they're not all the way in, they will leak on you. Always very important to push those all the way in. So I'm gonna make sure they're all the way in, and once they're all the way in, I can put my clips back on. And then we're good to go. So this is the first part of the video. We're now gonna move on to the tank section of how to repressurize your tank. So we'll move on to the tank next. So this is the tank section of the video. So here's my tank. These are both tanks. We want to turn our tank off. So this is how the tank looks on. We want to turn it off. As you can see, this one's already off, but I just want to demonstrate the difference. So this is an on tank, and this is the off tank. So you notice that this is crossed. This is what we want. We do not want this open while we're doing this, because then a bunch of water is going to come out. So after you do that, like we said, we depressurize the unit. The next thing would be to remove the tank and just dump it over into the, and then pumping it up. So we gotta dump this tank. There's two ways to dump this tank. We could just run the faucet till empty. That'll dump all the water, and then you could do the air. I'm gonna show you how to disconnect the tank, dump the water into the, dump it into what's it called, dump it out into like your garden or whatever, and then you can dump it just in case you don't want to waste this water, or yeah, whatever you need to do with this water. I'm gonna show you how to do that now. So since it's there might be a red clip here, remove it on either end, and then this is a 1/4" tubing with an adapter. Yours might just be a solid 3/8 tubing like this, but same principle. You're gonna want to push down on the collar piece while you're yanking on the tubing here, and that releases the tubing here. There's gonna be some water coming out, a little bit still pressurized. So that's how we remove the tank. And now I'm gonna go outside and show you how to dump it. All right, here I'm outside. I'm gonna put my tank here. So the tank's a little heavy, so if you want, you can dump it through the faucet and then pull it off if you don't want to lift it up. So it's kind of heavy. I'm just gonna turn on this, and you're gonna see that the water is coming out. I'm gonna dump it on this tree over here so I don't waste it. And then we're gonna let it run out. So I'm not gonna sit here and watch it run out. So I'm gonna turn off the camera and then we'll return when this is done pouring out. All right, so you see that the system stopped pouring water. See the valve's still open, but there's no longer water coming out of here. So the water escaped. I'm now good to pressurize the tank. So we'll go over to our station and we'll fill that up with air if it needs it. Alrighty, so we're back at the tank, disconnected from the unit. So here's a towel. I'm just cleaning off the water that was on there. So there's a little bit of water gonna constantly drip out. Just little drops. Okay, so now I'm gonna turn off my tank. And for this step, turn off the tank. And what you will need is a tire gauge and a tire pump for this part. So to pump up the actual tank, there's a little blue screw cap here. We undo, and then when you undo it, you'll see the I guess the nipple for the air to enter. So what we need to do now is I got a good tire pressure here, a good tire pressure meter here. I'm gonna connect it. I have it right now at a 5.8. That's kind of low. I don't like that. What I want to shoot for is 8 to 9. So what you want to do is grab your pump or your whatever you're using, might be electrical one, and you want to stick it on the nipple right here, right? You want to stick it on the nipple and then connect it, and then I'm going to pump maybe 3 times with my pump. So I'm going to pump 3 times here with my pump, and then I'm going to check then I'll check the I don't want to pump it too much is what I'm saying. You don't want to do. So I'm going to pump it 3 times and then I'm going to check one more time. Alrighty, so I got my tire pressure gauge here again. I'm going to measure it. Okay, we're still kind of low, so I'm going to pump it up some more. So I did like 4 pumps there. I'm gonna check now again. All right, so we're at 8 exactly now. So I pumped it up maybe 7 times, and that was enough for me. You don't want to pump it up too much, because if you pump it up too much, there's an air sac in here that pumps up. That's what gives you the pressure. If it gets too big, if it overinflates, it will pop, and then your tank will not work at all. So just make sure that you pump it up to 8 to 9 pounds. You don't want to push it past that. So remember, this is an empty tank. So this is at an empty tank. This is at 8 or 9 pounds. Just a reminder, 8 or 9 pounds. So we've pumped it up to the desired amount. So now we can reconnect our tank. I'm gonna take my tank over to my taking my tank over to here, and then I should have my line where my T is. So here's underneath your sink, you'll have a T that you'll see that one's disconnected. That one's for the tank, because we're the UV. And we're gonna stick it all the way in with the tubing. Let me get that on camera for you. So do that again. So you'll have a T here underneath your sink. It'll be the only T that doesn't have anything connected to it. And then boom, into there. And then you're make sure it's all the way in. If it's not all the way in, it will leak on you. And then just turn this back on. So to go over everything, we turn off the angle stop underneath the sink. We ran some water. We then depressurized it by doing so. And then after we depressurized the unit, we took this UV out because we had no longer pressurized. It was easy to take out. We had to remove the red clips if we need to. And then we just swapped it out by putting the new one in, making sure the flow is going in the correct direction. And then we put the tubings back in, and then we put the red clips back in. Then after that, we pulled our tank, made sure to turn off the tank first. And then after we turned off the tank, we unplugged the tubing connected to it, and we dumped all that water outside onto a tree so we didn't waste it. And then after that, we repressurized the unit, the tank, with a bicycle pump. If you have an electrical one, that's like a car pump, that works too, as long as it's one of those automatic ones that fill up to 8 exactly. Just FYI on that. So after all this is done, we can go back to underneath the sink and turn on the angle stop. So let's go do that now. Alrighty, so here we're back at at our sink here. So you see that's off. That's the off thing. And now we're gonna turn it on. Alrighty, so that's the on position. Make sure it's not off. Then you're good to go. It should start filling up again. You'll see the gauge go up, and just wait an hour or two and it should be good to go after that. Thank you and goodbye.